When I was in college, I used to ask my professors and seniors if I want to start something new or if I want to start a company, what should I do? Some of them used to recommend start a distribution business of some established brand and you will learn a lot. Back then, I used to think distribution is nothing but distributing the product from company to consumer. Later, I realized it's a very complex subject associated with dealers, sub-dealers, pricing, credit, and lot of headaches. Let's hear this perspective from someone who has mastered this subject and created an empire of 50 crore business from 50,000 rupees initial investment. I would like to introduce Mr. Guru Datta, who is a managing director at Siddhi Cable Corporation Private Limited and doing this from last 3 decades, build the trust of 350 plus customers and built an empire of 50 crore plus business in the last financial year. Let's hear his perspective from distribution business and building some of the biggest brands in Indian market. Hi Guru.
Hi Bharat. Thank you. Thanks for this.
Glad to see you in my podcast and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think the good starting point would be, why did you choose distribution? Why not anything else? How did you start the distribution business?
See, after I completed my education, I worked a couple of years for some of the companies in Mysore and Bangalore, wherever I came from. What I found was there was a need for certain things what customer was expecting and what was provided by the distribution system. I was a part of the distributor. I was working with the distributors. Okay. I was working for a channel partners. Then I realized there is so much gap which is available for someone to really provide and make a niche out of it.
Sure. This was back in 1993, Guru?
Yeah. 1990 I came to Bangalore and for 2 years I worked, and 93 I realized that this is an opportunity for me to make my career.
Great.
So apart from working as a sales engineer, I thought this is a gap which will help me to build my business. I identified the gaps.
Great. So that was interesting. I think 1990 you came to Bangalore and started pursuing this from 1993, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Can you tell us the story of your distribution? What all brands, from which brand to now? I know you are doing Havels and some of the biggest brands in India, but it would be interesting to understand your initial days of distribution. How did you start and how did you reach to this level?
That's really nice. When I was in my final year of education, I was working for a company agency, small agency in Mysore, which was selling mixers and grinders.
Okay.
Today, if I look back, it looks where from I started. I established that brand for the entire Mysore district as a sales executive. Then I moved on. I came to Bangalore. I worked with some of the big distributors who are selling leading brands those days. Still, when that gave me an exposure in industries. Those days it was public sectors like HMT, BEL, BHEL. These are the major industries where we used to go and market our products. In spite of all that, I found that what customer needs, what dealers are providing, more or less it was like a stockist. You stock and sell.
Right.
So that's when I decided that we have to start something which will fill all the gaps and ensure that customer gets a satisfaction. When in 1993 I started the business, we were selling electrical consumables, electrical spares, what was needed for electrical industries and for their maintenance and for machineries. 94 we got the association of Indo-Asian switchgear. Those days, very popular. Even now they have a company, Indo-Asian, manufacturing of circuit breakers, MCBs and all that, which was for residential application. They were quite popular in residential segment. But industry per se, nobody was focusing. All the channel partners, all the dealers were selling it to residential application. So we got the exclusive dealership for promoting these products in industry.
Right.
So 94 we got the Indo-Asian dealership. We did a phenomenal job. We established this product, positioned this product in most of the industries. So there came the trust from the customer, and customers recommended us and customer recommended the companies, manufacturing companies, that, oh, here is a dealer who is giving us good service, go and give the dealership to these guys. Then came Wago. Wago was one of the German company, leading manufacturers of terminal blocks with a unique unique technical points. That was somewhere in the year 95, 96 kind of a thing. 2000, in the year 2000, the game changed with two leading companies like Siemens and Lap India. They came forward. Our association started with Lap in the year 2000. They are the leading manufacturers of electrical wires and cables worldwide. It's basically a German company. They have two manufacturing setups in India. So our association with Lap India started in the year 2000. So
Great.
that's where we are. And then again, after a few years, we joined hands with Havells, one of the leading manufacturers of electrical products. And then came a French company, Hager, who are also into manufacturing MCB DBs, and which are for industries and residential application. So this is how we, one by one,
Great.
company manufacturers as well as customers, both trusted, and we became a part of this big game of distribution.
Right. Interesting to know that, Guru. I think from mixies to switch gears to cables and whatnot, I think you have seen the length and breadth of the electrical, the consumer products. If I may ask you, I think there are two levels of distribution we are seeing now. I mean, two types of distributors we are seeing. Focusing on 1, 2 or 3 products maximum, maybe cables, switch gears, or the relative products. Or focusing on, there are some distributors we are seeing in the market where they focus on 7 to 8 products. They take multiple other products which may not be related to that, but still some of the distributors are successful there. I'm not saying it's wrong, but there are few distributors who are taking that, few are not taking that. Based on your experience of 3 decades, Guru, what do you suggest? Do you have to focus on 2 or 3 product lines maximum, or is it good to expand it to multiple product lines?
See, as a channel partner and as a distributor in the last 3 decades, I feel the need to become specialist in any specific area is what is more important. See, if today we are specialist in electrical wires and cables, whether it could be residential or commercial or industrial. So if you have a specialization, then one brand, if you have a strong brands, your relationships are great, and you have a association is good and credible, then I think we should focus on a couple of brands rather than going for, more number of lines and then. I feel 3, 4, maximum 2, 3 or 3, maximum 4 is good. The reason is your dependency on one segment is not there. But on the other hand, you are already scalable, and specialization will come.
Sure. So you suggest go start with 1 and go max up to 4 is what you recommend. Understood.
If it is related products, that is always good. Suppose I am into cables and connectivity products, and then you have a lighting. See, today whatever we have, none of the brands are conflicting. Our policy is always, we are not associating with the brands which are competing with each other.
Understood.
So we stick to one brand. Cables means we are sticking to one. Lighting, we are sticking to one brand. So that's where we come from. Like, you be specialization in one area, give good to customer.
Understood. Can I put it in this way, Guru? I think for the target customer, what are the complementary products you can add and you can build on it?
Perfect. That's the way it is. So customer gets the best of all this.
Understood. In terms of, there are a lot of jargons in the world of distributions. There is something called CFAs, distributors, dealers, sub-dealers. Can you help our viewers to understand what are all these and how does it differ from each other?
Definitely. See, in 93, when I started my career in dealership and all that, there was something called stockist. So the role of a stockist, as it is defined, is an entrepreneur or a company which stocks the material and sells it. His responsibility is only to stockist. Then there is a dealer who is more focused on a selling.
Yeah.
Then there is a distributor who sells to the retail distributor dealers and then they resell it. So all these are all fine, you know, those days it has evolved. But today it's more of a channel partners. Today the definition of our association with the dealers has evolved to a channel partnership.
Right.
So here the expectation from company is that channel partner promote the product, show an integrity, help understand the market scenario. So the role of a distributor has changed.
Yeah.
So that is where even the distributors will grow and channel partner also will get the benefit out of it. If somebody is buying your product and keeping stocks and all the responsibilities on the manufacturer, he is as good as a stockist as a dealer.
Right.
So today channel partners will do much more than investing money, stocking the material. They have their own sales people, they will go and promote your product. So apart from taking care of finances and etc. So channel partners are the situation where today it has evolved to.
Great. I think from stockist to channel partner,
Yeah.
if I have to put it in. Great. I think from a distributor or channel partner, I see there are 3 to 4 critical things.
Yeah.
1, consumer; 2, pricing; 3, credit; 4, schemes. I think that's what we are seeing when we are working with some of the distributors. These are the 4 things that they are at most concerned of.
Yeah.
So starting with the consumer, so how to choose a customer, how to choose a consumer. I know you hate to say good and bad customers, but if I have to put it, how do you choose your customers and how do you onboard them on Siddhi Cable?
As you rightly said, for me, I don't want to label any customer as a good or bad. Customer is a customer. It means those who have a need for your product or service is a customer, can be a customer for you. So, and every customer has a different need, every customer has a different expectation and every customer has a different terms or whatever their preferences.
Right.
So, if we align or if we are able to match all those expectations and still make profits and do business, then we are succeeding joining hands with them.
Right.
So, coming to me as a company, we decide one is customer should have need for our products or services and there should be a certain amount of profits for which basically that's more important
Yep.
for us, and then our payments has to be secured.
Right.
And there has to be a win-win situation, that's mutual respect. Those things we look at, then they are our customers.
Sure. I think during this process, Guru, I think you will agree with me. You would have started with customer thinking all these parameters into mind.
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe 50, 60 or 70%, I'm not sure on the percentage. Most of them may reach to that level and may follow that.
Yeah.
Say for example, if the customer is deviating from whatever the parameters that you have set at the beginning. So how do you communicate that to the customer? And if he is not accepting that, how do you take that situation forward?
Ideally speaking, we prefer not to say no to any customer. We have a long rope and just to make it officially statement that we have not lost a single customer in the last 3 decades.
That's
We
excellent.
have not lost any customer. And very few cases, as you rightly said, there are certain parameters, there are certain expectations from both sides may not have matched. So, we have disengaged. So, those are very few. We have been constantly in touch with customer.
Right.
So, our difficulties, our challenges or their challenges and their expectations has to be time and again discussed and aligned.
Right.
Because it can't be same. What is expectation today, the dynamics has changed and my customer expectation changes. So, this is a routine interactions will help.
Right.
Yeah. But we do have some experiences where customer did not turn out or something went wrong and we have disengaged.
Right. So you will try to communicate and convince, and if he doesn't accept, and it is better to depart from them.
All levels, see, maybe our sales executives will be dealing with junior level and then we escalate the matter. Maybe at times we have personally escalated up to the owners or directors. Even then if it doesn't work, then
Right.
we have parted.
Makes sense.
That's very few.
Makes sense.
In my
Makes sense.
case, that's been very
Very less. Okay.
less.
And another interesting topic in distribution is price. I think this is something that will come into the picture on a daily basis, I'm sure. For example, Guru, there are two different distributors for the same product, and the customer has reached out to two distributors, and you are one of them, or you are one of the channel partner that they reached out to.
Yeah.
So how do you convince them to take the product from you, not from them? And how do you make sure you convert that particular deal?
See, today in my experience and my journey, customer is not looking at price as the only parameters to decide to do business.
Right.
There is a lot more than price. So it doesn't mean that if you are expensive, will they buy? No. Price has to be good. But there are so many other things which as a channel partner, as a company, which we can offer to our customers, which we have been doing. One is your ethical business practice.
Right.
One is your wish and commitment to do long-term business relationship. And one is your after-sale service. So if someone is starting a business and initially, it takes time for him to prove himself that this is what you have.
Absolutely.
But maybe for the beginners it may be difficult. But these are the fundamentals one should start with.
Right.
And then once you prove, customers choose you over price.
Correct. So you tell them the value proposition that you are offering and make the pricing proposal at the end.
Definitely.
I think this is a common thing that most of the distributors doesn't follow. I'm not saying everyone, but some of them doesn't follow. We see them talking on the price first and then coming to the value proposition, where the whole dynamics are changing. But it is good to see this perspective where you are starting with a value proposition and pitching at the price at the end.
Yeah, but I would like to add one more thing. We are not expensive.
Right.
We are very competitive to all the distributors, my co-distributors or competitors. We are very competitive. But whatever we give more is an addition to what the price what the customer gets.
Understood.
So we created an edge over all that.
Right.
So price everybody will give.
Right.
If I start dipping the price, everybody will give. So we are giving a very competitive price. I believe one has to give a fair price policy.
Right.
That's what we believe in.
Yeah. So you are giving the price, I think two scenarios. I think the good competitive price, maybe if you are offering a slightly higher price, which you don't in 99% of the scenario, but there is a lot of value proposition that you bring onto the table than the price.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Another glitch in the distribution business is credit. So credit, I think they need 40 days, 50 days. There will be cash and carry customers, but most of the time we see the credit playing a critical role in the channel finance, channel partner, distributor, dealer businesses.
Yeah.
So what's your take on the credit, Guru? How do you manage your cash flow?
See, credit is individual expectation of every customer. Like it could be industry or a proprietary company or whatever it is. I have customers who don't need more credit.
Okay.
There are certain customers, they pay on time, they take all the benefits. They are probably bargaining for a better deal. We also have some customer whose expectation is 90 plus. So I have all kind of customers. So only what my expectation, how we are dealing is what your question is. We need to understand this from the beginning of entering of the deal.
Right.
So we understand what is that they want. Price, quality, service, our behavior, our relationship, these are all by default. Over and above, credit is one part which customer expects.
Right.
So if we understand what is their credit expectation, we align our proposal according to that.
Okay.
So I think it's possible.
Right.
So we have customers strategically, those who are paying after 100 days, the pricing is different. Service, our relationship, everything is same. Those who are paying more delay payment, we are not changing anything. Everything is same. We align our offer accordingly.
Right. Have you ever observed the proportion? You said there are different propositions of customer you have.
Yeah.
Cash and carry customers, short credit and long credit, if I have to put it in three baskets.
Correct.
In any of your experience, Guru, where the long credit customers have been demanding and more into the pie, where your cash flows got affected during that time?
Yes, it is there. Again, it's a decision. See, I'll tell you, any decision made, it's a strategic decision.
Right.
We have some customers who have informed that this is our payment.
Right.
I want 90 days credit. We have accepted. This is my price. We have accepted. If it works, we are doing. If it is not working, no businessman will do the business. But again, once you have reached a size, and then if it is not profitable, nobody will do the business.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
there is a breaking point.
Yeah. And as you said, profits. So how do you manage your profits, Guru? So would you like to reinvest into the business, or would you like to take that profit and invest in something else? So will it come back to the business, or how do you manage your profits in the company?
It has to come back to the business initially, and to large extent some amount of investments has to happen apart from your profit in other areas.
Right.
Asset allocation is important. Why? The question is, why do you take the money out of business? Investing in the business is very much required for growth. You have to invest in your team, you have to invest in your infrastructure, you have to invest in your quality of service. Everything comes with a cost. We have to invest. But why you have to invest some amount from your profits and take it out and in a safe place or growth in a different area? Because business is uncertain.
Yep.
Every business has certain uncertainties.
Yep.
So if something goes wrong, you have to have something to back up.
Right.
If you create certain amount of backups, your confidence level will grow to increase your business.
Sure.
So that helps to work hard and grow this business.
Sure.
So I believe it should happen in both ways. You have to reinvest to grow, so that you invest in your team, in your infrastructure. How do you give your value proposition? Everything comes with a cost. So you have to invest in this. And again, working capital, all that is required. And creating safety, you have to take out some profits, invest in a safe area.
Sure.
Both are required.
If so, reinvesting in the business and for your personal funds, and reinvesting in your personal growth.
Yeah.
Can you put it in the form of a percentage for our viewers, Guru? Is there any ballpark that they can follow, that this much can be kept in the business and this amount or this percentage can be taken into the personal fundings?
There is no specific ballpark for that, but I would definitely like to say your personal requirements, like your enjoyments or your holidays or your investments, all that is very important. Maybe your education for family.
Sure.
Everything is important. Apart from that, investing in your assets, like maybe real estate, gold, mutual funds, all that has to be taken care, because those are the things may come at some time to help the business when it is in crisis.
Absolutely.
That is one part. You have to allocate based on the profits and the growth. Initial growth stage of the business, all these things will not be possible to do.
Correct.
Once you reach a stage, you can achieve certain amount of allocation of funds.
Understood.
But initially, you have to invest in business. But end of the day, if you keep on investing only in the business, you are having too much of risk. Something goes wrong, you have nowhere to
There has to be a
take
backup
shelter.
for
Yeah, you
taking
have to
care.
have some backup.
Right.
Both are required.
Great. And we are hearing from a customer standpoint, a dealer standpoint,
Yeah.
or from a credited price.
Yeah.
Let us hear something from a company standpoint.
Yeah.
So as a channel partner or a distributor, what support or what do you think is an ideal company? What support company has to give? And what are some of the things that company should not do to break the long-term relationship?
See, company from a principal company where we have association with our principal companies, the most important is their policies and walk the talk. Every company has their marketing policy, which is clearly defined.
Right.
And most of the companies want to have a long-term association. That's what is defined. But are they really meaning to that, and are they walking the talk? So these are the areas where any dealership, any channel partner will look for.
Right.
And support system is not for company or a channel partner. It is a win-win situation. Manufacturer need a dealer channel partner support, and channel partner needs manufacturer support.
Right.
Both are required.
Right.
And what a channel partner expects from companies, brands, is a long-term association
Sure.
and growth opportunities. And the manufacturer should have an ambition to grow and give support system for channel partners to grow along with them.
Right. Can you give some specific examples, Guru? Say, for example, LAP or Havells, what support you get from the manufacturer?
If you take LAP is a very leading brand worldwide, their most important policy is the ethical business practice. So, ethical business practice means the territory arranged, whether small or big, once the territory arranged. We have been associated with them for the last 25 years.
Right.
So, we had the growth opportunity with them. LAP has grown from X to the so many crores today. So, we have grown with them and they have recognized our potential and they have recognized our efforts and given the opportunity to grow with them.
Right.
And in terms of other supports, they have given us a channel finance, which is a win-win situation. They get their money in time and we get a working capital, and they have gained confidence on us, our ability, and they have given flow of inquiries and flow of leads. Those are the areas. And when it comes to Havells, so Havells is a company, again they are so principled in terms of their accounts, settlements, profitability. So, these are the areas where channel partner gets, and conflict, when there is a conflict of other channel partners, all that, company is the one who gives a clear demarcation and stand by the.
It's something very important
Very
in the channel
important,
finance business. Yeah. Great.
So, this is where we get.
And what are some of the things they should not do? Have you ever taken a brand and discontinued in your career?
We are not discontinued, but we have given feedback that certain areas for example, company decides that because the volume is huge, see, we may have worked to build a customer over a period of time, and then the customer has grown and giving huge amount of business.
Right.
And then many companies may get tempted to take those business directly.
Right.
That is something which no channel partner would love to accept.
Yeah.
Because you have worked hard, you have built that customer, and customer has grown and started giving huge volumes. That is the time when company decides, okay, now itna business bada aa raha hai, the huge volumes are coming, and they may have to compete also. Company
Right.
has a genuine reason, pricing, when the customer has a huge volume is coming up, and the customer expectation is also high. The price,
Yeah.
the credit terms, customers may say that I want direct billing, I want direct to deal with company, not through the channel partner. It's quite natural. That is when the ethics and principles of the manufacturing company comes into picture.
Right.
So, we have given feedback, and we have got the support system also from the companies where we are dealing.
Yeah.
The channel partner expectation is that have a ethical and transparent business practice, and at any point of time the breaching should not happen.
Right. Right.
And that should happen from both sides.
Mm.
Even the channel partner should be to the that level of expectation.
Correct. I think the breaching is one of the most important thing where I think I see so many companies breach on this perspective.
Yeah.
The one wonderful thing you told is, it is always good to give the feedback. Many a times what happens, Guru, channel partners take this into their head, doesn't discuss with the manufacturers, and they choose to depart. It is always good to give the information to the manufacturers, this is what happening, and it is the duty of the company, because you have taken lot of time to build the product in the market. It is their duty also to take into the feedback and take the corrective
Absolutely.
actions.
Absolutely.
I think it's a mutual, I think it's a two-side love story, definitely.
Absolutely. See, I believe and I have experienced most of the companies are matured and understand the value of channel partners and dealers' role in the Indian business scenario.
Right.
It's very crucial. It's not in Western countries, especially in Europe or other countries, the most of the business may happen online, and they may not have so many C&F, stockists, dealers. Here in our India, the scenario is different and the expectations are different.
It'll be different, yeah.
So, dynamics are different. So, the role of a channel partner is known to most of the manufacturers and industries.
Correct.
So, they understand. The only thing is we have to have a good relationship. We have to discuss, make them know what's the challenges.
Yeah.
So it has to come from both sides.
Absolutely.
Even company should give an opening opportunity to have a dialogue. They have to be open for feedback.
Feedback, yeah, absolutely. I think follow up to that question, you have the big brands. I think you are a classical example, Guru, where you worked with Havells, which is one of the leading brands. And Lab, you have seen their success from beginning, from I won't say nowhere, from somewhere to somewhere you have taken the brand in the respective market. Which type of companies you are comfortable with? So this is a question when distributor wanted to take up a new brand or a new company or a new product, they will always get confused. Should I take an established product or should I take a mid-level companies who are entering into the market who are giving them a good ROIs? So what type of products you would like to choose for a successful distribution?
See, actually as a channel partner, company should make them understand what are the advantages of working with a developing company and already a branded company while choosing a dealership, or this is something which the responsibility lies on also explaining by the manufacturer. If you are working with, associating with the company who is growing and the brand is still to be established, then the profitability is more.
Correct.
Because the effort is more.
Correct.
The channel partners also have to put in more effort. So it takes more effort to sell or achieve certain values. So obviously the profit sharing has to be there. So they may probably put in more effort and gain more profit. So that's an opportunity.
Right.
A channel partner should see in that angle.
Right.
If you are already joining hands with a very established brand, the brand is sold. So what is the role of a channel partner? To sell. Marketing is already done, brand is established.
Customers know about the product.
Customers know about it. So if that is a scenario, the profitability or a margin obviously will be less.
Right.
So that is another opportunity. So if the channel partner is able to distinguish this, then they will understand where they are heading to.
Right.
So if I have to choose, I have done both. I am associated from very beginning and the profits were good, and as the brand increases based on the volume, the profits will come down and you are scaling the volumes. So
that's what I think you have done with the Lab,
yeah,
if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, right. Lab we have done like that, and Havells also is a very, very established brand.
Yeah.
So that's how it is. But we have, as a channel partner, worked from the root.
Right.
Work from the root, application, based on the application we have provided solution to my customers.
Correct.
From understanding what is their need, based on that what kind of products you have to select.
Right.
Not only going to the purchase and talking about quotation. We have started from working from the user point of view.
Understood. So you are recommending a combination of both.
Yeah.
A volume product from an established player where the margins will be less, and a value product where the margins might be higher, but you will strive to grow the brand and take it to a level where the volumes will be picking up.
And the relationship will be so strong.
Yeah.
If a channel partner, imagine a scenario where a dealer want to start a this channel partner business, dealer business. Now there are two things. One is he can try for a leading brand,
right,
and he has so many restrictions. Like this territory is not yours, that territory is not yours, and you need this so much investment.
Yeah.
You have to stock so much. So from a very young entrepreneurs, if they want to start, so association with the mid-size or trying to establish brands will be easy.
Right, because the restrictions will be limited in that situation.
Yeah, and the same thing for a manufacturer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's easy for finding out, dealer or a channel partner who is starting. So he is willing to put in effort.
Sure.
So it's a win-win for both of them.
Right, right, clear. Now let's come to the area of challenges.
Okay.
Which is a conflicting subject, Guru. Let's discuss on that.
But that's very important. Conflict and challenges are part of business. So I think it's very important to discuss and understand that topic.
Yeah. So let's divide this question into two parts.
Okay.
When you started the business, what kind of challenges that you faced in the initial days of your journey to reach to whatever the level you are?
Yeah. See, As an entrepreneur, challenges what I faced was a working capital.
Right.
As individually for me to develop the business, working capital, there was no team, I was doing all. So those were individual things. But what challenges as we grow we faced is the competition. Competition will be there.
Right.
So I used to perceive competition as okay, it's too much competition, we are unable to compete. And that is when we need to build our skills and ability to handle the situation.
Right.
As long as we have quality of products, services and business practices, then you are there in the business. So it takes time to build that trust and build that credibility in the marketplace.
Understood. You said nicely on the working capital.
Yeah.
I think working capital is a common problem for most of the businesses, especially in the early stage of the business.
Correct.
So how did you manage that problem? I know you have reached to a level where most of the companies support you on a channel finance.
Correct.
But that will happen once you reach to a specific level. But in the early stages of the business, where working capital is a very critical thing for most of the distributors, how did you manage the working capital? Did you take loans? Did your family, friends supported you, helped you in terms of money? How did you run through those challenges?
Yeah, very good question. Initially, it's my father who was a rock solid support. His investments really he helped me. He gave me 50,000 rupees in 1992, which is a huge value even today. And my family who's been supportive in all respect in terms of my moral support and all that. So that is one way. And we did borrow money from an outsourced, non-banking source.
Okay.
See, today the scenario is different. Government is supporting, banks are open, the credit availability is good. The most important thing is bank is a good source for any establishment, for any channel partner or any dealer. Today the bank should be the good source for taking the working capital,
Right.
not the outside source.
Right.
When I started, one is the rate of interest, one is getting the money from bank as a working capital was also a big challenge. You need collateral, you need so many things. So that was a challenge. Today that's not the scenario.
Right.
Even today there may be collateral required but a higher value, but bank flexibility has come out.
Right.
They have so much flexible to give help young entrepreneurs.
Understood.
So the scenario is different. Bank should be the way to get working
Bank
capital.
is the main way to get funded.
I
initially.
recommend
Yeah.
strongly the good bank should be the source for working capital.
Sure. So take a loan from a good bank and build the credibility, grow the business and show your credibility to the market, show your credibility to the company and get into a channel finance and scale up the business.
Absolutely.
Maybe that's the path of growth.
Financial discipline is something which has to happen from the day one.
Right.
This should be the culture of a channel partner or any business for that matter, whether manufacturers or a dealer. Financial discipline and ethics should be the fundamental of any business.
Right.
So that is something which we practiced. It came for us from the day one. I have incidences where we have refunded my customers who have paid in excess.
Okay.
We have refunded to them. So, I mean that's how they trust. And I have told some of my customers who have given, after multiple negotiations they would have finalized an order, and if you have negotiated for 100 and previously our price was 105, we have gone and told them that boss, you have negotiated for 100 and your PO is 105. So we have returned that, asked them to amend the order for 100.
Right.
So certain discipline, certain ethics, these things will help build credibility and trust.
Understood.
So financial discipline is something very important.
Makes sense, makes definite sense. And in terms of conflict, Guru, as we are discussing about the challenges,
Yeah.
there will be conflicts, I'm sure, at a company level, at a customer level. So how do you manage conflicts in your organization? So how do you manage conflicts, A, with companies or a brand, B, with customers or dealers?
Yeah, this is been there throughout my journey. It's only we have become better in understanding and handling the situation. First let us see the conflict with the customer. Customer conflict is between what is your expectation and what is your deliverables. So that can be easily handled as long as you are focused to customer centric. Like if you are focused on customer customer satisfaction, then those can be handled. When it comes to principal companies or brands or where we are aligned with, what could be the conflict? The conflict is the policy is defined. If you understand and agree on certain things, mutually agreed, then there should not be any conflict. The only area where it comes is unhealthy competition between the channel partners.
Right.
If you are referring to that, is it so?
Yeah. I think same channel partner in the same geography, or two different channel partners within the geography where dealers might be taking from the other channel partner.
Yeah, that happens. See, it has, first and foremost, it has to be defined. What is expected? What is the offer? What are we getting into?
Right.
If it is the responsibility of both company as well as the channel partners. And if you have set a guidelines that this is the territory, if within the territory you are supposed to handle these products and services, and the other territory is given to another dealer, obviously if something wrong is happening, the responsibility of the company is more to ensure that is taken care. And if you want to support as a company, if somebody wants to support the other channel partner, they have to definitely give reasons for what reasons and what is the genuine reasons why this is happening.
Right. I think let us see from a company perspective.
Yeah.
Say for example, a company has appointed dealer A in a market or a geography, and they have given enough time, but he is not performing. Can the company appoint another dealer or distributor in the particular territory? But when the company tries to do that, many a times the dealer or a distributor fight back saying that it's my territory, why you are appointing another distributor.
That is unfair. That is unfair from a dealer's side.
Right.
See, growth, this is exactly is important. If you take up this topic after the damage is done, then obviously this situation comes.
Correct.
I have something which can avoid this situation itself.
Right.
If a company has certain expectation to grow and company has certain expectation from the channel partner, why are we giving space for not growing?
Yeah.
If the monitoring is happening on a month on month, or if the growth is happening, growth monitoring is happening on month, and you are aligned with the channel partner and seeing what challenges they are facing, if that is being solved. See, there are two scenarios. Either the dealer is not active and they are just enjoying the benefits of the company and brand.
Right.
Then you have all the right to just appoint another dealer and move on.
Correct.
If the dealer is genuinely facing some problem and they need help, then company can provide that support and ensure that the dealer grows along with the company. So,
Understood.
that's a win-win situation.
Right.
The third scenario is dealer not performing, and then you have company has all right to appoint another dealer and grow.
Right. After all the support, try to solve the problem. Still, if the dealer is not performing, I think the company has all the rights to.
That should be a part of marketing policy. That should be a part of marketing policy.
Sure. And when we talk about the conflict, Guru, I think I'm sure you have X number of dealers or customer under your geography or territory, and most of them, I'm sure they might be continuing with you, but there will be definitely some percentage of customers who wanted to depart because of variety of reasons.
Okay.
It's mutual, I mean, between customer and a distributor or a franchisee. If someone has come out of your customer database or from your dealership, and if he is promoting in a negative way, most of the time it will not happen, but sometimes some of the dealers, they promote negatively about the distributor, they promote negatively about the company. Have you ever faced this kind of situation?
Not directly, but I will definitely answer this question in a different perspective. First and foremost, as I mentioned to you, in the last 3 decades, we have not lost any customer.
Right.
So, that shows that credibility and deliverables. But definitely every year on year, we have a method called lost and losing customer, lapsing customers. This I learned from my principal company, Lap India. So, lapsing and lost customers. We do this analysis year on year, or now we are starting doing in a half yearly also. So, once we lose a customer or lapsing, something is going out of our hands, we need to understand why this is happening.
Right.
So, and do what is needed to bring them back on the board. This is something we do. On the other point, if somebody is creating a false narrative, this happens. Okay, as long as we are truthful and we are doing good, customer will decide. Today, it's not easy. Okay, somebody is saying something wrong about you, trying to create a damage. That doesn't work in the long run.
Correct.
Customers are smart. There was a time when people used to say the person who knows how to speak well and how to convince the customer, he is a good salesman. Today, I mean, that was not true, but even today that doesn't hold good, and customers are very smart.
Right.
They know what they are getting into. These false narratives, accusations, trying to malign the brand, all that will not happen easily, because customers are knowledgeable. They know what they are entering into. Same thing for channel partners. If you are ethical, if you are doing good, most important today is the statutory law of the land and whatever you are, whether GST in terms of ethics.
Right.
So all this come into picture. It's more important that customers engage with the channel partner or the brand who are ethical, who are fulfilling all the needs.
Correct.
Rather than listening to the false narratives.
Right.
I think we should not give, in our perspective, we don't give focus on false narratives or somebody is trying to say wrong about us.
Right.
We don't worry too much about it. We do what is right.
Absolutely. It is very important. It is important not to get diverted and focus on unnecessary things which are deviating from our goals and visions, and focus on the right things.
Yeah, and we make it loud and clear, and we put in more effort. How we are more stronger and how we are more ethical, how can we achieve our success with these fundamentally right things.
Right. That's a very important perspective, Guru. I mean, if someone is promoting a negative propaganda, it is important to communicate that, maybe because there are some customers who may think it is true. It is important to answer, or it is important to take that perspective and communicate that in the market, so that people will not get carried away by the negative propagandas in the market. Yeah.
See, one is we have to be alert. These things are bound to happen in the world of competition, in the world of business. Obviously, somebody will try to say wrong about you or a brand or your principal company.
Yeah.
This can happen. Expecting that is going to happen, being alert and doing your best and putting more effort to convey and genuinely make customer experience what you are talking is good, will help customer believe you and trust you.
Absolutely.
False narratives all will happen, but I think we shouldn't give too much importance for that.
Absolutely. Let's not give too much importance to that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's deviate slightly from distribution businesses and let's come close to your heart. So let us understand more about your health.
Yeah.
I think more from a physical health, mental health, because these are something most of the people doesn't keep a lot of focus on. And I feel it is very important to focus on the health, whatever the challenges that we face on a daily basis, on a quarterly, yearly basis. Health is something that we shouldn't be, not focusing on. So let us, can you brief us on your routine on your physical health, mental health? How do you manage stress, anxiety on a daily levels?
Yeah. See, that's a very interesting thing. It's for an entrepreneur or an employee, a businessman or any walk of life. Physical and mental health both are very important. A strong body can only fit a strong mind. So your physical health has to be first priority, and then building a strong mentality and mindset comes for the entrepreneur and industrialist. So from the beginning, yoga is one thing which I have been practicing. So it's more than about 35 years now. I am very consistent in that. So today, if I am able to manage my stress or challenges, this is something I give credit to my yoga practices on a regular basis. Spirituality and philosophy, which supports many people misunderstand philosophy or spirituality, that okay, detachment and all that. Honestly speaking, which is very strongly recommends success for growth.
Right.
So this helps. So And practicing your meditation or pranayama, all that is very important.
Okay, so that's part of your routine that you compulsory make sure it happens.
Compulsory.
Already.
It's part of my life.
Great.
Today, whatever I am is because of those practices.
Great. And if you see, I think you have already spoken about a family support.
Yeah.
In a very nutshell, in a brief way.
Yeah.
Let us elaborate on that. I think let us divide your career into two parts, in the initial period and the current.
Yeah.
I think initial period you would have faced many challenges. As you rightly said, the working capital, customers, growth, etc. How was your family support during that time, Guru? So how did your family support you and take you to the level where you are in now?
I give definitely a major credit to my wife and my daughters. My father, of course, he's been rock solid support from the beginning. In the difficult situations when the decisions supposed to be made, and when I faced a setback, it is the positive mindset and positive attitude of my wife and my children gave me a lot of tremendous help.
Right.
In entrepreneur's life, difficulties and setbacks will happen. How they accept, how they respond to you, how they support you, all that what matters. My wife has been a great support.
Right.
She's a very positive minded person and individually very vibrant and has a great aspiration also. She is from a background where she has a aspiration for growth and success.
Great.
So sometimes she is in fact says that you need to put in more effort and grow. Difficulties, setbacks will happen.
Yeah.
That's not for settling something. Okay, fine, this
Right.
happened, now let's accept this. She says fight for it. If I say I have a physical fitness issue, there was a stage when I had a difficult time for physical fitness. She said you have to train yourself, have a personal trainer, be strong and then fight for the success.
Right.
Not accepting for mediocre life. So that was the kind of support system I got from my family.
Excellent, excellent. And as you were talking about a trainer, do you think a trainer or a guide is important for the growth? Do you think where can a guide or a trainer can come into the picture and help you in the process of growth?
That's very important. Trainer or a guru is very important in all respect. Initially your parents are someone who gives your basic value system like ethics, value systems. And when it comes to physics, you have a trainer or a yoga guru, whatever it is.
Sure.
And then in business also, certain things, skill and knowledge has to be learned from someone who is expert in that domain.
Right.
Otherwise, we learning from our own mistakes, doing wrong things, and it takes a lot of time.
Right.
No doubt we have seen people, extraordinarily successful people who have come on their own. But today when you have a trainers, when you have coach, someone who can help you achieve certain skills and
Right.
knowledge, I strongly recommend that. That's very important.
Sure. Can I put it in this way, Guru? I think instead of 1x growth, I think a trainer or a coach can be a catalyst who can speed up the process of growth and take you to 3x, 4x growth.
Yeah.
When you have an opportunity, it is better to utilize that and learn from someone who has already done that.
Absolutely, that is good. One is about the 10x growth or whatever it is happens. Secondly, the not doing wrong things.
Correct.
And ease of doing business.
Yeah.
Suppose they don't know where they are doing mistakes. If you learn, for example, statutory, asking for an auditor is better than me learning from on our own.
Absolutely.
So how easily we go to auditor.
Right.
So why don't you go to a coach to learn certain masteries?
Correct.
Like sales, marketing,
Yeah.
operations, everything has to be learned.
Right.
So coach plays a very important role, guru plays a very important role in all aspects of life.
Right. Imagine you are entering into a stress situation.
Yeah.
I think maybe payment not received on time, salary is not done on time. You are going into a stress situation, Guru. How do you manage that? Do you shout at people or do you calmly, peacefully manage it all the time?
I first understand the scenario and then make a list of what are all the important things and something called IOU. This is something which I believe. IOU means important over urgency. If you have 10 things, all are important, then you have to give attention to all. But the option you have to do is only one by one. Then you have to identify the priorities. If you have to pay tax on time, or if you have to pay certain penalties on time, or if you have to pay your salaries on time, something is which is priority on, all are important.
Right.
But you have to identify what is priority. Then if something else is priority, then you have to take the stakeholders into confidence, discuss with them, and then arrange solution for that.
Understood.
So I first see the status quo, understand the needs, and then prioritize what is important, what is priority. Based on that, we work together.
You work together. Great. So we have come to the last part of the session, Guru. In terms of what I always ask my viewers is, what is the feedback or what is the advice that you wanted to give to two types of people? One, aspiring entrepreneurs who wanted to build a successful business. Two, someone already doing distribution or someone wanted to enter specifically into the distribution business. A, into any business, they wanted to start the business, what type of advice would you like to give? B, they wanted to enter into specifically into distribution business. What is the advice you wanted to give, Guru?
First of all, we are blessed in a scenario where we are in today. India is the place where the ecosystem and situation of the country is the best. India is growing, fastest growing country, fastest growing economy, and the ecosystem is good. So I would say the young entrepreneurs or even the youngsters who are thinking to do business, to decide fast and do something.
Sure.
Take action.
Yeah.
Don't think too much, because you lose years together whether thinking whether should I do business or not to do business. If you have some idea, even 10% you want to do, please experiment. Nothing wrong. Start fast. Second thing.
Sorry for interrupting you. I think for the aspiring entrepreneurs, is it okay to fail and grow?
Fail
because
fast.
People are hesitant to fail and don't want to take risks sometimes. So what kind of suggestion would you like to give those people?
See, without risk you cannot succeed. Risk is a part of business. I would suggest, if you have an idea, due diligence is very important. Do certain background checks, your resources,
Right.
potential of the market. Do you have the knowledge? Do you have the resources needs to be done? If you don't have resources, you can acquire the resources. If you don't have the knowledge, you can acquire the knowledge. But you should not change your decision. If you want to do business,
Yeah.
that courage, that little bit of aspiration is there. If you have a wish,
Makes sense.
please jump. You
Right.
should do the business, because system is good.
Yeah.
Opportunities are great in our country today.
Right.
So I would strongly recommend entrepreneurship and doing business for youngsters.
Right.
And coming to the distribution, specific to the distribution business, India has the channel requirement, the dealer, distributor. Thousands, lakhs of entrepreneurs are there in the channel partner business or dealer business, whether
Right.
it is textile, automobile, or every building materials, in every field. Dealers and distributors are there,
Right.
from large scale to smaller entrepreneurs, from a small petty shop, small shop to a large distributor. So this is quite common in India. So there is a huge potential. Only thing what they should keep in mind is, fundamentally they have to be very strong.
Right.
Have a ethical business practice, financial discipline, aspire for huge, and they have to work for it.
Right. Yeah. So you were saying about starting the business. I think it is the right point of growth.
Yeah.
Anything you wanted to add to the people who wanted to enter into distribution business, Guru?
See, distribution business is something really having a great potential. But choosing your dealership, choosing your brands, if you are starting, then looking for a top brands which are already established may become very challenging for startups. In the sense, they may not have certain expected resources what is expected by the leading brands.
Right.
So choosing a brand or associating with the developing, still developing brands and working with them will give a long-term relationship, and long-term fruits will be better. they will also become strong pillars with those manufacturers.
Great.
So I recommend association with the mid-sized brands and upcoming
growing
companies,
companies.
growing companies.
Right.
Associating with them initial days is a very ideal for startups.
Right. Understood.
I recommend that.
Great, Guru. I think you have given us a great perspective about the dealership, distribution, channel partners, etc. I think this will definitely help our viewers to understand how to look at the distribution business, how to see various parameters, which is price, customers, credit, etc. I think you have changed the way they might think about the distribution business. This is a great podcast, I must say, and thanks a lot for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Thanks for this.